Today, I'm going to review the book Love, Heartbreak, and Tragedy in Art by Tatiana Kalaydjian Serraino. I saw this book online while watching a Instagram channel or a YouTube channel. One of the things that popped up is this lady that will do a brief blurb about some artist. And she wrote this book, and she said it covers like 20 different examples of tragedy, heartbreak in art, and it explains the story. And I actually really wanted to get it almost immediately because I like art. Art to me is mysterious. It's like a dancer that doesn't seem to touch the ground, or a magician that does really good sleight of hand, or a welder who can weld two razor blades together on edge. It's just mysterious to me how they can do these things. And but I also, I sometimes think like stereotypically that art is just for the intellectuals and the highbrows, and it's all about the juxtaposition of the flatulent archetypes from the Jungian era, blah 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 blah, my nuts. So because you look at a painting and you're like, oh wow, that's a painting, that's a pretty painting. If you've ever tried to paint or draw, which I have, either you can or you can't naturally or with training. And I tried for a while, to learn to draw, and I just couldn't do it. So to me, it's absolutely a magic trick to watch someone make a painting or a drawing that looks realistic, and they do it with these almost disconnected, movements and brush strokes. It's weird. So, but I want to, like I was saying, is like when you see a painting, if you don't know what the painting is about, you don't really connect to it. So when you're going through a museum, if you're not an art history major, you may not get that. So Tatiana here, she picks these paintings, and then she gives an explanation of, who painted it, what the topic of the painting is, and then she gives background on the story behind the painting. And, she covers paintings from the 1600s through the late 1800s. And, it's things from like Greek mythology, poets, or like Dante's Inferno, historical myths and figures. There's one in Spain that was really interesting about a guy that allegedly had his wife dug up 6 years after she died and crowned as queen, and he made all his courtiers come and swear their allegiance to this corpse. Just bizarre stuff. So it's about 20 stories, and that's what it really is. It's stories. Like, I found myself barely even looking at the art and just reading the story behind it, and then I would go back and look at it. The other thing I like about this is she'll start out with a close-up of the painting. So let me just find one here, okay? And she'll show like this one here. Here, this is about a god that killed a dude with a frisbee, all right? And so she starts with a close-up, and then as she tells you more about the story, then she shows us another picture of the whole painting, and you get to see more in the painting, and it's really interesting because you start with this focus on the total topic, and then you look at these other things in the painting, and now you know what the story is about, and so you see other things. So anyways, it was less than $25. I bought it, I read it in just a day, really quickly, just to read the stories and have a look at the art. I didn't recognize any of the artwork from when I was in college. I took humanities. But really an interesting book for anyone that is even remotely interested in art, or if you don't understand art and you're curious about it and you're sort of wondering what other people see in it, a nice, inexpensive, easy read, unpretentious. Everything is very explained, very clear, very easy to understand, and she doesn't go into exposition about the brush strokes and the contrast of shadow and light and all of this bullshit. It's just the story of the art. So buy this book. It's a good book, and I hope you enjoy it.
Here are some of the artwork that I own for myself. Most are inherited as the other members of my family passed away. But I love sometimes just stopping and looking at them and looking to see if there's something I never noticed before. You know, art is just cool. It can mean something, it can mean nothing. It can just be interesting like that, like an ocean, or something that reminds you of where you grew up. Or you could sit there and stare at that black thing and wonder what the hell that is.